Hello everyone. Hello. This is Nelson on the road. It is raining. I'm actually still in the United States, but I'm getting ready to cross over into Canada. So I'm going to apparently allow you to see me go through the border as the Restored to Freedom officially goes international, which is exciting to me because I've been waiting for this moment for a while. There we go. I've got my passport here. It's all new and ready to go because my old one expired just a few weeks ago. So I'm about 12 miles apparently from the border of Canada. I'll be speaking in Canada tomorrow evening, and it starts at 7 o'clock tomorrow in Niagara Falls, Ontario, and then I'll be doing a training on Saturday, training and equipping. So you guys will be able to officially see me cross over because my GPS took me north of Detroit, I guess just south of Lake Huron, instead of going around Lake Erie. And I have never gone this way before when I've gone to Canada. I've always taken the bridge across. And to note, it's kind of interesting, I've actually ran a marathon in Detroit. It's very cool because you start at the downtown baseball field that they have, and then you go across the bridge into Canada. You go across or alongside the Detroit River, then you come back underneath the tunnel or channel, whatever they call it, and then you go out to a peninsula. Then you come out and finish on the 50-yard line of Ford Field, the football field. So it's really cool. I used to run marathons, maybe 10 years ago. I did about 6 marathons. So I believe that was very symbolic, looking back, that the Lord was preparing me to run a marathon for Him around the world, basically, to get people delivered from these spirits of Jezebel, Leviathan, Ahab. So hello, Anna. Hello, Leah. So I'm still in Michigan, still in the United States, but in about, I don't know, 12 minutes, 10 minutes, I will be crossing over. So here's my passport. Dun, 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 dun. Here's my picture. Dun, 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 dun. Which I got my passport renewed when I was in Houston, Texas, like, I don't know, a month and a half ago when I first learned I was coming to Canada. So anyway, I'm excited. I am driving towards Marine City. So if any of you guys know where that's at, I'm on Marine City Highway. Got both hands on the steering wheel and my eyes focused on the road. I normally don't like to do Facebook Lives while I'm driving, but since I am focused on my driving. So anyway, today is a very exciting moment as Restored to Freedom, as myself personally get to do ministry in another country for the first time. I believe it's very symbolic because I know this, I've already worked with people around the world. We're getting people that have been certified in the Philippines and in Australia, United Kingdom, South Africa, New Zealand, all over the place. So I believe it's very symbolic. The Lord wants to apparently let everybody see as I'm officially crossing over into new promised land that the Lord has promised. He told me back on, I guess it was in 2009, that I would be heading up a ministry that would be working with people all over the world, and now that's what we're seeing happen. So it's exciting to see, exciting to bring this to you guys, and hopefully the people that ask me the questions when I get to the border don't ask me why I'm doing Facebook Live at the same time. So they probably won't even notice it. So hello, David. Hello, people. Hello, gang. So again, I'm about 10 minutes from crossing the border to Canada. Again, I'm north of Detroit. I'm not sure why my GPS, although the Lord kind of told me as I was taking this route, not expected. I was expected to go across the bridge like I normally do. That GPS, we normally say it stands for Global Positioning Satellites. The Lord said this is God's positioning system, is what He kind of showed me GPS was. And I'm like, well, what does that mean? He said, well, I'm positioning you, Nelson, I'm positioning Restored to Freedom in order to maximize as many people's lives getting set free and delivered before Christ comes back as possible, because there's so many people in the church that are operating in those spirits and they don't even know it. They're oblivious to it, but it's causing them to strive and fight and argue and all that stuff. So anyway, I got my books packed and ready to go for the next 2 weeks here in Canada as soon as I cross over here in about 9 minutes. And then I will be, hello Sherelle, and then I will be coming back to the United States April the 15th to Sandusky, Ohio to speak at a church there, Eagles Nest International, I think is the name of it. And then I'll be heading back to Texas April the 20th. So, I see a United States flag flying right there. So again, I'm still in U.S. territory. So today the Lord wanted me to talk about, don't limit God, dream bigger. And you think about how can we limit God's using us? Obviously, we can say no. We can choose to keep, obviously, demonic spirits that torment us and continue to have behaviors that are unchrist-like and no fruit. And you think about the Israelites, they limited God. They stopped God from taking them into the promised land. They complained, they were in fear. So what happened? They all had to die for 40 years. Poor Moses, think about Moses, had to go out in the desert for 40 years. I cannot fathom what that would felt like. And then not to be able to even go into the promised land because of him striking the rock. So very, very important that we do what the Lord wants us to do, and we don't limit him in our lives. There's so many ways we can limit him. By getting into fear is the big thing, or you get pushback. I know I've talked to a lot of people on my team that have been certified around the world right now, and some of them are getting hit by the enemy because the enemy wants them to stop doing what they're doing. I went through all my hell, from 2009 to 2015, and it was extreme, at least in my opinion, very, very harsh conditions constantly, and yet I persevered through it and overcame it. And now I don't really get hit by the enemy. I just don't feel, there's, people can say whatever. The results speak for themselves, obviously, and we're seeing lives changed everywhere. So, but I know the people on the team that have never gone into ministry before that the Lord's using, some of them are getting hit. And so we pray against that, but it's par for the course. It's part of the deal, is that when you are getting up to the higher levels, especially dealing with Jezebel, Leviathan, those are the enemy's generals. Those are the number one spirits that come against those in the church. So of course you're going to have some circumstances come against you, and some people are going to lie about you and all of that. You may have a church turn against you. I've experienced that, but then the Lord shut the church down. So he vindicated me. He justified and had my back. So God will do the same for you. Just keep with the course, and if you want to be certified under Restored to Freedom, again, it's going to be powerful how you're going to be used in powerful ways, and it'll be a great thing, great testimony for you as you continue to press in and press forward. So dream bigger is what the Lord wants me to do. So I've been having a lot of dreams lately. Hello, everybody that's joining right now. Hello, Christiane. So I have had a lot of dreams lately. I had a dream back in January where I was driving a race car and I was putting on my gear, and the race had already started. It was the Indianapolis 500, which they run every year on Memorial Day weekend in the United States. So late May, last Sunday of May. And in the race, I was late getting my stuff together, my helmet on and stuff, and then I finally get in the race, and I ended up passing a lot of people and then basically winning the race, and I was done. And the Lord was kind of showing me, get ready, that's what's going to feel like this year in 2018 for Restored to Freedom, and for yourself personally, is that I'm going to explode it, and it is. The Lord's got the TV show now on Uplift TV that goes out to 80 million people, and they're going to add another 90 million people by July. I can't tell you who it's going to be, but it's a name that you all would know that the show is going to be on, that their network, basically. So the Lord is positioning all this, that God's positioning system. If we do what the Lord wants us to do, and if we are humble and don't have pride, and we are pure and righteous, there's nothing the enemy can do to stop what the Lord's going to do to position you. So you got to make sure that you're in the right position to receive. And as long as you do your into the bargain, God will do his. If you choose to let sin and sexual stuff come in that's not good and that you're corrupt financially, then there's nothing the Lord can do to protect you. You have to keep on going through the desert maybe a little longer until you've learned to walk in the purity and righteousness of the Lord. In fact, the Lord kind of keeps hinting to me about writing another book about purity now. And I was like, I don't want to write another book. I just don't like writing books. I never like writing books. So, but I believe it is definitely in line with what the Lord's wanting to do before Christ comes back, is to get us all to be pure and spotless before him. So that makes sense to write a book focused on that. So, you know, the more I think about it, the more I'm like, oh, I probably will relent at some point, you know, when I have a week off where I can get it done. But ultimately, the Lord directs. We have to listen to him. That's the other thing too, is you have to hear the Lord's voice. Again, if you have the spirits of Jezebel, Leviathan, and or Ahab on you, you're not going to hear the Lord's voice very clearly. You may hear him temporarily. You may be able to prophesy occasionally and be accurate occasionally, but you're not going to hear it all the time. You're going to have more fear than you do anything. So you got to get those out of you, and then you can hear the Lord's voice and be directed, and then have peace. And then you can have the dreams that are going to be valid dreams from the Lord, versus getting the dreams that are out of fear or anxiety or getting chased by bears or killed and all that stuff. So that's all normally the enemy's junk. Then you can dream bigger. You know, you don't want to limit God. You know, I could have focused and said, okay, I'm just going to be happy with doing a ministry in, you know, Noblesville, Indiana, and do my healing rooms, but that's not what the Lord called me to do. That wasn't what he was preparing me to do. What he was preparing me to do was to do this on a global scale. So, hello, Rachel from Detroit, Michigan area. Hello, Jessica. Welcome from Michigan as well. So, guys, I am, I don't know, probably about 5 miles now from the border of Canada. I have never entered Canada from this far north, and I've only entered it 2 different places, and that is from Detroit at the bridge and then over in the Niagara Falls area. But the Lord had me go this way. The GPS took me this way, so God has his reasons. I don't know. I've never been this way before, so it will be kind of cool to see how the Lord does this and have you guys witness it full time. So I see a ye old cheese house. I just saw Polish food. So getting closer. You know, I love new roads. I love new adventures. That's who I am all about. And I think most people like adventure. Some people don't. But I love it. I love traveling on new roads I've never been on before. I love going to new cities, new states, and now new countries to do ministry. And I'll share this. So there's a woman that's getting certified under Restorative Freedom from Australia. It'll be my first person from Australia. And she said that she was talking to her doctor a couple days ago, and the doctor asked her what's new in her life, and she said, well, I've been following this guy from America, and it's really exciting, you know, this ministry that I'm going to be coming into. And she started sharing with her about it, and she's like, oh my gosh, I think I've heard of that guy, you know, Nelson Schuman. Yeah. She goes, I watched one of his videos, and we have a mutual friend named John that's from Australia that told me about him. And so the doctor was like saying, you know what, he's right on it. You know, he knows what he's talking about, and that is exactly what we're seeing. While a lot of people are having these physical diseases and stuff, it's because of these demonic spirits. And that doctor actually wants to now go through the deliverance with this woman, as well as having her family members. So how cool is that? It's just a validation of what we have learned and what we know to be true. And there's, you know, psychologists that are referring patients. There's chiropractors. There's a couple of medical doctors in the United States. And I remember this. It was about, when was it? This was probably back in November, December. There was a guy that was from, ultimately I think he was from Africa, but he was in LA, and he had prophesied the Lord was going to use me to speak to doctors, psychologists, and trying to think other universities and seminaries and stuff, to teach them about how real this is. And so can you imagine, you know, I'm like, well, I can imagine, because I see it. I can see it in the spirit, and I believe it, and I know it's going to happen. So just a matter of how long it takes to manifest. So Anyway, I am getting closer to the border of Canada. You can watch as I cross in. I'm turning onto King Street. So how funny is that? King Street. And let's see. Got my GPS turned off, so hopefully I can find the border. Okay, I'm pretty darn close. There's like a river here I see that's separating. So I'm getting closer, and you guys can watch. So yeah, so we don't want to obviously limit what the Lord can do. We want to keep our dreams big, and we want to hear the Lord's voice clearly. And then I wrote a book called Keep Your Faith On, where I talk about how so many people talk about having their faith and how strong that it is, but it really gets put to the test when you totally, don't have a job, or when you totally cannot figure your way out of that situation, and you must trust the Lord for everything. So that's what I'm doing right now, is I am trusting the Lord for everything. I don't know, where I'm going to be at in July. I know the Lord keeps adding more people, new people, into the ministry, and it's fun to see. It's fun to see new people also getting trained and certified, and then watching the successes that they're having in people's lives as this is multiplying all over the place. It's just so exciting to see that, and seeing entire families get set free. I see a sign that says ferry, so I think I'm getting closer. And I see a river, a small one. So I'm getting closer. So just continue to bear with me, and we will cross over together into Canada and dream bigger. I don't know where the Lord's going to take me from here. It might be eventually to Mexico. I would assume would be pretty close to the next country, but let me see here. Oh, they have a Dairy Queen here. How funny. I bet they can get a blizzard here in the Dairy Queen. Okay, I'm crossing over a small river. Soon I'll be crossing over the bigger river and then into Canada. So it's kind of funny how my passport had just expired about a week ago, and I needed a new passport. So how funny is that the timing of this was all perfectly orchestrated by the Lord. All right, ferry to Canada. I've never taken a ferry. Yeah, I'm going to turn right here because I believe there's a road that I can take, and then I will drive across versus taking the ferry. So it sounds like my reception, it looks like my reception is doing well because I can see it on my iPad here. So I will take you guys across. So anyway, I'm having a great time. The people are getting delivered. That's what it's all about. Seeing lives saved and changed and set free. No longer hearing the voice of the enemy telling them to be bad and to control and to manipulate people, and be more peaceful and walking in their authority. Now I talked to Dawn today, not too long ago. She's excited. She's pumped up. Dawn Casanova-Leniger from Washington. Read the book, The Believer's Authority. She said it's really changed her life dramatically. Bridge. This is Bridge. All right, I'm going to try and take this road. Again, it's kind of a challenge when you don't have GPS. Oh, yep, there's a large river. Oh, it looks like it has ice on it. Okay, ferry to Canada. I don't want to take the ferry. I'm going to turn right here. Wow, they actually have ice. I wonder if I can get out here. Yeah, I can get out here and show you guys. guess I'm not going to take the ferry. All right, let me pull in here and I'll show you. In fact, you can see Canada from here. Cool. All right, I'll get out here. Wow. Actually, it's kind of weird after you've been in Texas and 80 degrees forever to then come into seeing ice floating down this river. Cool. All right, I'll show you guys. Dun, 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 dun. Let me see here. There you go. There's Canada across. All right, I'm back. Sorry about that. I'm not sure, but it wasn't getting a good connection. Okay, here we go. So there, you can see some snow, ice in the river, and over there's Canada. How cool is that? So Canada's on the other side there. It's about 40 degrees out here. Supposed to snow this weekend, Heather says. Awesome, I love snow. I've missed winter. Here's my car, it's been everywhere. Loaded down with books. So hopefully, you'll be able to see me and I'll have the good connection as I'm crossing over. It says Holy Cross School over there. There's a church over there. How cool is that? And I guess the ferry's like right there. I don't know how you can get a ferry across when you got ice. All right, so I'll get back in and hopefully we just pray and declare that the connection stays strong. I think I'm gonna get my GPS going on my iPad so I can make sure. Let's see. Niagara Falls, Ontario, Canada. 4 hours and 7 minutes away. There I go. Fastest route. All right, so here we go. Uh-oh. I hope I don't have to take a ferry. Maybe it's wanting me to take a ferry. I don't see how you can take a ferry across. Maybe you can. Ew. Uh-oh. Blue Water Ferry. Don't tell me I have to take a ferry. Are you kidding me? Never been on a ferry before. Kind of cold. Well, we'll see. We'll see what happens here. Gang. Maybe you can take a ferry when there's ice chips on the water. I don't know. Oh my goodness. Always an adventure. That's life. I'm going to drive over here and see what it says. If it does require a ferry, then I guess I'll take it. Always the first time for everything, I guess. There's a bridge. There is. Wait a minute. Are you sure? Let me see. There's Bridge Street. I don't see a bridge on my GPS. I see just a ferry thing across there. Uh-oh. Only bridge I see is back in Detroit. And there's like nothing north of here either. Alright, well I'm going to check out because I did not see the bridge. Well maybe, well, It says King Street. Maybe there is. Hopefully there is. We'll find out. Bear with me as we move forward, onward. I don't think this is even tracking me right. All right. I'm going back. I don't see a bridge. I think it's a ferry. No, Heather, I'm not in Niagara. I am in a place I've never heard of before. GPS took me north of Detroit. So, I may have to take a... Alright, it's saying that it's closed, the ferry. So, dilemma. Port Huron, the Blue Water Ridge Bridge in Port Huron. Okay, how far is that, Rachel? Why would the GPS take me on a longer adventure? That's a ways up there, Port Huron. That's up by Huron. Wow, that's way up there. Well, if I have to go there, I guess I have to go there. Well, maybe take me a little longer then to get into the country of Canada. Maybe the enemy doesn't want me to get there, you think? Maybe. Oh well, I guess I can drive up there. Be a nice scenic drive along the river. St. Clair River, that's where I'm at. Alright, well I guess I'll go up north. So, I won't delay you guys any longer. I will go ahead and get back on the road to go up a little further north. And then, maybe I'll do a Facebook Live from there. So, alright. 19 miles. Well, thank you very much.